Hey y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Well, I just got done milking the cow and hiking back up this hill. We got a fun day ahead of us today. We are getting ready to go pick those beets you saw the other day. Gonna make some beet pickles today, and I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting some of the biggest cabbage heads and make a little kraut. The signs are right for making kraut. I've always heard that when the moon is shrinking, that's when you're supposed to make your kraut, because when the moon is growing, then it draws that liquid out and makes your kraut push all the liquid out. Who knows if it's so or not, but why take any chances, right? So, yeah, that right there will take up most of the day. Y'all come on.
Come on, Tiger. How many you need? Oh.
One cabbage head will make about 1 jar of kraut. Yeah, any of these big ones. Yep, that'll be perfect.
Pull the leaves off. I'll cut them out if you want
Just
to.
or whatever.
We'll put them in there like that. Right there's one. Look at that. Pigs will like them leaves, won't they?
Oh yeah.
Worms it got in that one just a little bit. All them over yonder can be picked.
I just want the biggest ones right now, because what I like to do is come out here about every other day and pick me one to eat on.
Right. All them out there I'm gonna leave. These need to be left. They're still too small.
You think that one is?
Yeah, I think that's got some growing left to do.
Okay.
All of these right here, what's left in this row, I think can be left. We might could pick a couple of them out there, and then them over yonder are the biggest.
Yeah.
So we'll go check them out. I mean, that one may not grow much more, but it's not hurting anything right now.
Yeah. Once it gets to the point that the bugs are just, slap eating them up or trying to, or they go to splitting or anything like that, then I'll come through and we'll wipe them out and get them all.
Right there's a good sign that this one needs to be go ahead and picked. See how it's splitting?
Yep.
And I guess that rain done that. Right now it's growing faster than what the outside leaves are, so it's making it bust.
Yeah,
so,
when they do that, I like to go ahead and get them.
even though it's not as big as some of the ones I'm leaving back there, just because of that, that's why I'm gonna go ahead and pick it. And I'll show you something else. When you see like that one, the leaves look like I'm gonna leave it, but that's a good sign that one's almost ready to pick. I don't know if y'all can see that coloration on the leaf. This one we'll go ahead and get it because it's got some bug damage. And that one too. Those back there are still real nice and pretty and lush looking, and I see no reason to pick them yet.
I'm really not in any rush for it right now to pull them all out, because we planned for this. Like, that's why we've expanded the gardens like we have, because we plan for things to stay, some things to stay a long time. And after this comes out, this will probably be corn, right?
Should be, yeah.
We'll probably plant corn back in this spot.
But see, we still got a long time, or I say a long time, but it's gonna be a few weeks before those red ones are ready. We're just gonna leave them here and see if they grow a little bit more than what they have. That definitely needs to be picked. That may not be no camp.
Well,
kind of looks rotten.
Cut it, see. Oh, these right here.
Oh, yeah.
Is it rotten?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh.
Ew.
What happened to it?
I don't know. That's nasty. So you want to leave these? There's the rotten one. We'll throw that one to the pigs. Right here, these two look good. You want to get them?
Yeah.
I thought all these over here were bigger than this, but they ain't. I done got some slugs in it.
Yeah, most time they do.
You want to get that?
Yeah.
Pretty little head.
Perfect. Not
Is that
too bad
enough?
for the first cabbage harvest of 2026.
There's a lot more to come unless something
Yeah.
happens to them.
So I'll probably make kraut out of all those except for maybe one, and I'll cook for myself. You gonna try some?
No. I'll pass. I'll just take your word for it that it's good. I trust you.
All right.
I don't need to try it myself. Look at that pitiful corn. That's just sorry. Everything else this year looks absolutely amazing. But that corn and that corn, that's just embarrassing.
Well, you can't win them all. That's how it goes.
Well, I ain't planting no more corn until that cabbage over there is gone, and then that's where I'll plant my next corn crop.
Maggie's got a sunflower over there.
I know, ain't it pretty?
Mm-hmm. It sure is. All right, to the beets.
To the beach. You want to go to the beach?
Yeah, I'd take a beach trip.
I know what you said, but it really sounded like you said to the beach.
All right, to the beets.
So you gonna you want me to pull them first, or you gonna cut them and then pull them?
No, pull them first, and then we'll just cut the leaves off.
Okay. So
I've just looked at them.
is that big enough?
Perfect?
That's what you want?
Yep. So when you cut them though, these beets, you got to cut them right here, or they'll drain out all their color
Uh-uh.
when you boil them.
Really?
You gotta leave, and don't cut that root.
All right, so what does my sign say? Which ones is these?
The ones where?
These right here.
The first sign I see says Kestrel. Starts with a K.
Okay.
Kestrel.
What's the other one say?
Detroit Dark.
Okay, these right here are the ones that were, these are the ones that were some free seeds that come with that one of them house orders.
Oh, okay.
So it's just these two front rows right here. I just wanted to see. Looks like the Detroit purples got bigger.
When I make beet pickles, that's the size right there.
Really?
That's the size I like.
Well, there they are then. You got them. Let's pull some of these good sizes. There you go.
They all got to come out anyway.
I know.
Is this the Detroit?
Yeah, that's your Detroit. That's the ones we've always planted.
Okay.
I don't know, Megan.
Were they all around top of each other? Because that's what they'll do. They won't get no better.
Okay.
There you go.
That's what you wanted, wasn't it?
Yep. I mean, that'll work.
That's a beet right there. Golly.
There's a big one. Just saying.
What happens when, what is this? It's a white beet. I've never seen nothing like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, them's all, there's a good one. Perfect right there. Look at that, Megan. That's one of the ones that survived the frost and has lasted this whole time. Do what?
Reckon that thing's worth fooling with?
I don't see why not.
I guess they get tough. I don't know.
You'll find out.
Yeah, I guess I'll find out.
I mean, that one right there will fill up a jar itself.
Yeah, it will. It will. Things, I bet it weighs a pound or two.
It's a big one. I'm telling you, that's probably the biggest beet we ever grew. But it's been in the bed forever.
Yeah.
The rest of these ain't been in here a terribly long time. But somebody planted them too close and never come back and thinned them out, so they don't have the size that they should have.
Good thing is, for the most part, they're my size that I want. I don't know if it's the right way to make pickled beets, but it's the way I like to make them. I like them little like it.
And that's right.
Instead of cut up. I like them little.
That's right. You know, you do things, when you're doing this, you do things for your liking.
Yep, that's right.
Unless you're selling them.
Right
At that
there.
point, you have to do them for everybody else's liking.
Perfect.
Perfect
so
size.
I won't cut that up or nothing.
Saves you some work, don't it?
Exactly. Work smarter, not harder. Well, I'll get me 2 or 3 jars anyway, and I'll be satisfied.
Yep. Beets are like a carrot. If you don't thin them out or you got them planted too thick, they don't make anything.
And beets is one of them kind of things. If you ain't never fooled with it, you may not understand. But beets is one of them kind of things. I want to do it one time, and that's it.
Yeah, when you're pickling beets,
yes,
you're done with them after that one time, ain't you?
Because they are the messiest thing you will ever do in your life. And they'll turn everything in your kitchen purple. And yeah, it's one of my favorite things to eat, but probably one of my least favorite things to make.
But pickled beets is the only way you like beets though, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to eat them like this.
And Megan is the only one in this house that eats pickled beets.
Yep.
So this is a treat for herself.
Yep, that's right. Treat for me.
I guess I'm going to have to.
But that's why I didn't even leave the small ones. I know we could have left the small ones and let them keep going. But if we'd have done that, I would have never fixed them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just being honest.
There's no point in it. And we're better off having this bed right here cleaned out now. The cucumbers, I felt like were acting like they were smothered out by the beets anyways. And so, I don't.
But look at all the baby cucumbers.
I know. And these are the white ones, if y'all remember. See the little babies? All of these are the white cucumbers. Those around. Those are getting smothered out too because there's so much stuff growing in that bed, but I think they're about to outgrow it and get higher than everything else. But when we pull them onions over there, which ain't going to be long, when they start falling over, we'll pull them.
Have you showed your onions? Should you do that real quick while we're out?
Sure, let's show the onions. Because, like I keep saying, y'all remember, we thought these onions were going to be goners. I didn't think they were going to make a thing. Actually,
we kind of thought they were dead.
Yeah, we thought they were dead. We did have some die. And I've heard some other people say that they had some trouble with these onions. But y'all, the ones that survived, my goodness. Look in there. Looky there. Look at that. Now that one's not quite as big. That one, look at that. Look at there.
Best ones we've had in years.
And so far, it seems that the white onions and red onions we got from Hoss done better than the candy onions. However, we did have to replant the candy onions, and so these are the ones we replanted. And look at these. They're starting to bulb as well. And I keep coming out here and raking the dirt out from around the bulb on them. But I am impressed. Like, no joke, y'all. I was at the point I told Megan, I said, I'm never planting another onion plant again.
Yes, you did.
I'm done with this. And I cannot believe the way these turned around and have done now. So, guess what? We'll probably be planting more onion plants again next year.
Yeah, these are the best looking ones we've had in a couple of years at least.
Yeah, and if y'all followed us for several years now, you know that we don't grow big onions. And these have proved that we can grow an onion.
Yeah, I mean, they're not big compared to some people's by no means,
no,
but they're big for us.
They're getting bigger though. Like they're not ready to pull. They still, so you pull an onion when it falls over, you know it's ready. And these, I think, still got a ways to go. So who knows? They're probably gonna get bigger. They should get bigger.
Well, I better get to work. I got my work cut out for me.
Me too. I'm gonna go start planting corn this morning, or finish planting corn this morning. And anyways, I got to get a move on.
Yep, me too.
The days are burning away from us. So y'all, this is a moment I've been waiting for 2 months, I feel like. I have been wanting to plant corn, and it's been so dry that I just didn't see much use in it because there was no moisture in the ground. We didn't have no rain to forecast, and it just didn't seem like the time was right. Well, we finally have moisture in the ground. The ground is underneath that top layer there is very, very moist underneath. And we do have more rain in the forecast. So, today's the day. We're going to finish planting corn. Y'all have already seen in a previous video, we got started. But this is the big corn crop. This is the corn crop that'll hopefully feed our cows and all that. Fertilizer's on the bed of the truck. Got triple 14 there. Here's the other part I'm excited about. I'm using Daddy's old planter. This is the planter. This is the planter that Daddy used when I was a kid. I was probably, when I was a youngin'. This is the only planter I remember Daddy using on up until my teenage years. He upgraded to a 4-row John Deere planter. But like myself, he never got rid of this planter and held on to it. And so, it's been sitting under the barn shelter now for, gosh, I'm going to say it ain't planted nothing in at least 20 years, if not longer. I really don't know, but it's been a while. But we got it out. We got the plates adjusted right for this Boone County white corn. Everything is lubed up, and everything seems to be working like it's supposed to. So keep your fingers crossed it does. This is the Boone County white corn. I've already got it mixed up with the Avapil on it to keep the crows out of it. The way this planter works, seed goes in these 2 hoppers. This is a 2-row planter. And fertilizer goes in that hopper, and it puts fertilizer and plants all at the same time. That disc puts in your fertilizer. These discs are where the seeds go. And I mean, you can tell from them discs that this thing ain't planted nothing in a very long time. Hopefully by the end of the day, those discs are more slick. So I think it's kind of cool that I'm fixing to plant corn with a planter that was used all throughout my childhood. And I'm pretty excited about it. I hope everything goes well. Now, there is one issue with this planter. I do not have a way to cultivate the rows that are this close together. However, rows this close together are going to work a lot better for the corn. This is set on 38-inch rows. And so I am currently in the process of hunting something to cultivate with, or either rigging up something to cultivate with, because with this heirloom corn like I'm using, you have 4 options of weed control. 1 is keep it cultivated. 2 is put it in the ground and hope for the best. 3 is to spray a pre-emergent on the land after you plant, and that'll keep the weeds from coming up for a short period of time, hopefully until the corn is tall enough to shade the ground out. And number 4 is what a lot of people are doing nowadays, is planting into a cover crop. And that cover crop lays down and protects the ground and shades out the ground so that the weed seeds don't come up. Obviously, I don't have a cover crop planted here that I could do that with. And so I am looking for something to cultivate it with. I mean, it's still going to be a while before it's big enough to cultivate anyways. But I have also considered spraying it with some type of pre-emergent herbicide, because that's what my daddy did when he was planting corn back all them years ago. And so honestly, it's what a lot of people do, especially if you're planting this non-GMO type corn. You can't go in and spray it with Roundup to keep the weeds from taking it over. That's the situation we're in right now. We may put it in the ground and hope for the best. I don't see that happening though. I could go into a speech all day long about why I plant this versus your GMO type corns. Nothing against GMO type corns. I just choose not to. This I can plant for a whole lot cheaper and grow it for a whole lot cheaper than I can a GMO style corn. But anyways, that's enough of me rambling because I got to get this planter set up and get this here corn started. I am burning daylight. And I mentioned using a herbicide, and I would like to say something right quick about that. I am not 100% against herbicides at all. We used herbicides in my landscaping business for years, and to be honest with you, if you use them right, they make your life a lot easier. However, there's drawbacks to that too. But this is a situation where I'm considering using it. I normally on the farm don't use much in the way of herbicides or pesticides unless I just absolutely have to. But I think that they are a good tool that's in the toolbox that you can reach for when you need to. Now, I'm not just going to go for something and overuse it like a lot of people do and whatever, but, in my opinion, my humble opinion, if you use them correctly and don't overuse them, they are a good tool to have in the toolbox for when you need them, just like anything else. So I just want to throw that out there that I am not against. It depends. I mean, some herbicides are awful. I mean, I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. So do your research on what you're fixing to use if you do use a herbicide. But, I do have a background in it, and I've used them for a long time on my job. So, yeah, anyways, this is no different. Sometimes you pull out an herbicide and pull it out of the toolbox and use it, but you have to know the risk of what you're doing. You have to know at what cost you're using that herbicide, and you have to do it smart. You have to treat it smart, and you don't just go and throw it out there and hope for the best. You need to do the way that you need to follow the directions. Anyways, let's get some fertilizer in this thing and put some corn in it. Goodness, y'all, there is no telling how many bags of fertilizer I have loaded off the bed of a truck into this planter when I was a youngin'. So this will probably take me back down memory lane for just a second here. I'm telling you, boys, I have unloaded no telling how many into this planter. Hop up there.
I'm not going to use the tailgate.
Yeah, you better not use that tailgate. It'll fall off.
Daddy's carefully inside.
So, Jacob, since some parts are far away, just set them down there if you can. And try not to step on the tailgate.
Alright.
Don't put too many on here at one time.
Sorry.
That's about full. I'm going to leave it at that. Put the corn in it now.
Alright.
I don't believe I'll fill them up just yet. We'll make sure everything's going to work right.
Do you have enough corn?
I got more to house. This right here was about 50 pounds I had mixed up. 50 pounds should plant all this field, but I do have more in case I need it. This will be the first one I plant. This is the one that we had corn in last year. This is about, I know it looks huge on camera because it's so long, but you can see it's narrow. It's only about 2.5 acres in this field up around that bend. And not those two fields, but across the creek through them woods, there's 2 more fields over there that's about 2.5 to 3 acres as well. So total, I think we're going to be about 5 to 6 acres of corn. And I do have more corn seed. I got to go get the planter set right. I got to adjust the depth, all that good stuff. And hopefully we'll get this day rolling.
Well, I've decided I believe I'm going to start on my beets first before I do anything. Let that water, I'm going to get them washed in some cool water. Over here in my big pot, I've got some water coming to a boil. Do them like you do tomatoes and blanch them, and it'll peel this outer layer of skin off. That's the messy part that y'all heard me talk about earlier. I mean, look at that. Crazy. It's going to take those forever to be ready to peel. I can go ahead and tell you. So when you're making pickled beets, to keep them from bleeding so bad, leave you some of the stem like that, and leave that root on there, and that'll help you a whole lot with it, all the color coming out of it. Well, I got enough to make me a few anyway, don't I? I'm just trying to wash some of that loose dirt off of them. They ain't got to be perfect. All right, our water's got to a good rolling boil, so time for the beets to go in. I'm gonna drop these biggest ones in there first because they're gonna take forever. Have you ever seen such? I hope they're all right. I don't usually let them get that big. Usually you want them all pretty uniform size, so all this they need to do about the same time. But well, like I said, where I've got them big ones in there, I let them stay in there for a little while before I start adding these to it. Or we're boiling them until they're fork tender. With them being fork tender, that skin will peel off like a tomato or something like that. It should peel off. If they're done, it should peel off easily. So while I'm waiting on my beets to boil, I'm going to go ahead and start washing some cabbage, and we can go ahead and start getting that cut up in the meantime. Maggie have come out here on the picnic table while we're waiting on them beets to get soft. And we're cutting up our cabbage for kraut. Now, there are a blue million ways to make kraut. And everybody says their way is right? About like anything. I found this recipe from some wonderful people over at Celebrating Appalachia. This is Tipper's Granny's recipe. And if you have not checked out Celebrating Appalachia, I will link that in the description. I know y'all are going to absolutely love their channel as much as you do this one. So please go check them out. But anyways, I like to give credit where credit is due. And I tried her method of kraut and I've not looked back. I've made it, this will be my third time making it this way. And yeah, it is so easy, so easy. And it turns out really, really well. Crunchy, crisp. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, with each batch I've made, I usually have at least one jar go bad. I will tell you that. And I figure that's pretty typical for the way we're doing this. But I'm going to show you just real quick how to do it. So this kraut is made in individual jars. To the first jar, we're going to add on the bottom 2 teaspoons of salt. Then we're going to take our cabbage that my dear assistant has so nicely chopped up for me.
Yeah, I already chopped it up.
And we're going to take that.
I think it's fun chopping on cabbage.
You think so?
Instead of meat.
Well, you do a good job.
But I think it's like easy.
So that's part of the key. You need that stuffed in there real good. All right, the next thing we need, be careful.
I am.
Is we're gonna take some sugar. This is not sweet though, I promise. Promise it is not sweet. But we're gonna take a teaspoon of sugar, put that right on top. I'm gonna take some water. We're going to slowly pour that water over that kraut. It's just regular old water. And you kind of got to give it a few minutes to kind of bubble and float on down in there. Not too tight. And we'll sit that over to the side, and once we get all this cut up, I'll show you what we're going to do next.
I have to say that using the 2-row planter and doing it this way went so much faster than planting it last year with that little 1-row planter. It's amazing how fast I planted this field. So the next 2 fields, I should be done in just a couple hours. But anyways, got to thinking while I was doing this, being that the rows are so, and that's the other thing, but being that this was planted on closer row spacing, there's so many more rows of corn out there. Like this field, if things go right, should produce more corn than it did last year because there's more corn out there. It's still got plenty of spacing because the heirloom corn does like a farther row spacing than the GMO corn does. But it's still got plenty of room to grow. But my thinking on this is, with them being closer together and the way heirloom corn spreads out, it's got really big leaves on it and it just leafs out really big. It's going to cover the ground quick. It's going to shade out the ground really quick. And once it shades out the ground, weed pressure at that point, unless something goes wrong, should not be that big of an issue because the sunlight can't get to the ground. So maybe this is going to work better than anything I've done in the past. I'm excited to see this, honestly. It's either going to be an absolute fail or like a big time success. I can't wait to see what happens. I really can't. I can't wait to come down here and see them little green rows starting to pop up. Man, it's going to be pretty. At least I hope I get to see those green rows popping up. You just never know. I'm always worried. Is it too deep? Is it too shallow? I think I got it just right, but is it just right? You know, that's my thought the whole time I'm planting anything. But that one's done. So I guess I'm going to move on to the next one. One other thing that I learned last year is just like raking hay. When you're raking hay, you have to think for the baler. You have to think about the guy on the baler. You got to have those windrows right for the baler. Well, when planting corn, and if you're going to pick it with a picker, you have to be thinking about that picker. So last year, I learned that lesson. These rows were not laid out right for a picker to pick it efficiently. So this year, and Daddy told me this last night, he said, when you go to plant it, he said, make your long rows on the outside and your short rows will be in the center. And I was like, well, what do you mean by that? He said, follow the contour of the field, follow the edges of the field. He said, think about it like this. When you're going around that field with the picker, you'll be picking continuously all the way through. Then when you get to the center, anything that's uneven and you've got to, you know, you space your short rows in there just to fill in the gaps. And at that point, you've got plenty of room to turn the picker and everything around in the field. And I was like, I hadn't thought about that, but that sounds like a plan. So that's what I did. And that's what I'll do on the next fields too.
All right, let me check my beets here. Let's see if we're 14. Oh yeah, that is. All right. Very nice. So now my beets are in the sink. I gotta let them get cool enough to handle. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go continue helping Maggie cut up some cabbage. Use the front of the knife, or do that. All right, now do that one. Finished up my kraut. My beet should be good and cool by now and ready to handle. It does a whole lot better, and I prefer not to burn my hands every time I try to pull the skin out of those things. But so I just went ahead and finished what jars I had. So I did fill up all 8 quarts, and I used 5 cabbage heads for that, I believe. I think it was 5. 5 in a little piece. So the last thing I'm going to do is go around and pull all the lids back off. I don't have them on tight. And I'm going to top them back off with water. Y'all can see why I do this outside, right? A lot of times what happens is the water settles down. See that? And the cabbage is not covered anymore. That's just what I've found in the couple of times I've done this. So we'll go back through all of them and top them back off since the water has settled.
Well, that's it. It's in the ground. Took exactly the amount of corn seed I thought it was going to take. I had 50 pounds fixed up. And both hoppers are about like that right there. Just, I mean, there's enough to plant probably another acre. Maybe not quite an acre in these hoppers. However, I do have more fertilizer left than I was anticipating, so it kind of makes me worry that I didn't put enough fertilizer out. But that's all behind us now, and there ain't nothing I can do about that. There was 50 bags on that pallet, and there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's still about 15 or so left, so I anticipated it on it taking it all, and it didn't. Which, if we have to, we can add it later. But anyways.
It's in the ground, and I'm happy.
I know you're happy. He's ready to go home. He said this is a boring job. I just want to say something. Seeing him up here, sitting on the bed of the truck, pretty much in the same corner of the field that I used to sit in with my daddy, brings back a lot of flashbacks for me. That was a boring job, opening up fertilizer sacks for my daddy, but I did it. But it's amazing when you look back and you have those little flashbacks. Just like I said, I watched him sit here just like I used to do in the same fields that I used to do. Pretty much under the same trees that I used to do. I have to say that this is a pretty cool point in life to be in, when I can relive my childhood, but now I'm in Daddy's spot and Jacob's in my old spot. I think it's a cool place to be in life. But anyways, last 2 fields are planted. By far the most field corn that I have planted solo. Daddy used to plant much more than this, but this is by far the most I've ever had to look after. So, be interesting to see how it goes. But it's in the ground now. All we can do is wait and see the little green sprouts popping up.
Yep.
There it is.
All right, so I've got this in one of those, I don't know what kind of tubs you call them. That'll keep most of the light and everything off of them. For now, I've got it out here on the porch. We've got some cool nights, not too hot days, too hot of days coming up in the next couple days anyway. But if it gets close to 90 degrees and humid like it's going to get, well, in the foreseen future, then I'll bring it in the house and let it finish fermenting in the house. But Of course, where I keep it cooler in the house with the AC, the fermenting doesn't ferment as fast, I guess I should say. So I like doing it out on the porch if I can, but just use common sense. If it's hot and muggy and you don't think it's a good weather to keep your food in, then bring it inside and it'll work in there too. But I'm gonna try to leave it out here at least 2 or 3 days, unless it gets too hot. Now on to the beets. So before we start peeling our beets, we're gonna go ahead and get our brine mixture going that we're gonna pour over top of them. So the first thing we're gonna need is about a cup of sugar, a cup of water, 2.5 cups of vinegar, close enough, roughly 3 tablespoons of pickling spice, and it's as simple as that. That's how easy these beet pickles are. This is the easy part. I guess the other part's easy. It's just messy and time consuming. Are y'all tired of hearing me complain about pickling beets yet? I won't be complaining when I'm eating them though, I promise. Or I wouldn't be going through all this. We want to let that simmer and dissolve that sugar and everything. But about 15 minutes, we want that good and hot when we pour it over our beets. So now the fun part. So I'm going to fill my jars as I go. I just do my pickles in pint jars. And I'm going to start with the little ones. So we want to cut that stem off, cut that root off, and you should be able to just whoop, yep, slip that right out of there. You watch out, they'll be slipping every which way. I mean, you can do slices, you can do chunks like I'm doing, or whole little ones. Make it your own. Cut them the way you like them. If you wonder why I'm using a plate, I don't want to stain my wood cutting board. So, a plate it is. See, this beet right here bled a little bit. You can see a lot of the color's gone. I mean, it's okay. It'll still be fine. It just ain't as dark and pretty. Now, I will tell you this, learn from experience, if you do not let your beets get done to the fork tender, and I mean they're really fork tender, not just you can stick a fork in them a little bit. If you don't let them get done, you're going to have a really hard time peeling them. Like, you're going to be picking little pieces of skin off of them and everything else. And I'm going to tell you what, that's for the birds. That is for the birds. So it's not a process you can rush. You need to make sure you got plenty of time to fool with it. Set you aside a few hours. I got 5 pints. Pretty tickled over that. That's about what I was figuring on. So now, we'll pull it on over here. And we're going to pour in our brine. It's been simmering. It's good and hot. This is one of those moments, do as I say, not as I do. You should water bath your beets. Well, y'all, there you have it. Ain't that pretty? I love the look of pickled beets, if nothing else. No, actually, I grew up eating beet pickles, and that's just, oh, it's If you've never tried them, they are fabulous. One of these days, I'm going to talk Andy into trying them. And I just realized, when I was standing here filling these jars, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even think I told y'all how long I'm going to let that kraut sit. So, I'll start checking it in like, the kraut. I'll start checking it in like 2 weeks. The last few times I made it, it was 2 to 3 weeks. And I was satisfied with it. So, you know, that's kind of up to your taste. And then what I'll do is I'll tighten down the lid and it'll live in my basement until I'm ready to eat it. And so far so good. It's been really great. And I'll crack the jar like every 3 or 4 days when it needs it. So anyways, it's already 4:30, so I have got to get supper going. It has been a busy day. I know I didn't finish cutting up cabbage, but probably after supper I'll probably continue on chopping cabbage and fill my tub up anyway. But anyways, guys, hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Hope y'all learned a little something. Till we see y'all on the next one. Y'all have a good one.